flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So as you see, it's a very short agenda. A lot has gotten done. A lot of work's been done. Got a lot of catching up to do. So let's just start right off with Haley couldn't come.
You got to do a roll call, Sharon.
What?
You got to do a roll call.
Where'd that go? Oh, there it is. Roll call, yes, thank you. You have to remind me of all this stuff tonight, for sure, for sure. So Don?
Here.
James?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
And Larry? I saw you here, I knew you were here, I didn't have to take that roll call, but that's okay. Draw your attention, first of all, to Haley Smith contacted me from the community club. The community club's interested in putting back some trees into the park. And she said, where do I start? And I said, start with the tree board, that'd be great. I had already talked to Dale about some things, and we talked about little, big, whatever, but the community club, I think, from what she told me, is kind of willing to get bigger trees to kind of try to ensure that they make it. And they were checking out that this is something they want to do, and they want to pay for it. So she was going to come and talk to you, but there's her letter, her email then, and you probably all got it as well. So if you have any desires, we should share that with them. I know in here that she said that they'd like to start on the west side, which makes sense. So I talked with economic development from Norfolk a while back, and they said because they keep redoing paperwork, and no, we didn't do this, and then we had to do something else again. They may not get sidewalks done. And I was in hopes that, we could get the shingling done, and the trees down, the shingling down, and the sidewalks done this year. The trees are down. We have the bids on the site on the shingling. I bet we've never. Have you guys seen those? Anything? Okay. So let me fill you in a little bit. Ryan said that the insurance has already paid some for the damage. I asked two contractors, Jesse and brother-in-law, whoever it is, nephew or something, that also broken away shingles. What's his name? Anyway, just to go give us bids. And I asked for bids, and that was kind of Ryan's suggestion too. Just get bids. Of course, the insurance company was already said what they'll do. So our thinking was you have part of a roof on the bathroom, part of a roof on the gazebo. Trees didn't hit the shelter, but there's a lot of time damage. And the guys that looked at it said, they shingled twice over the original sheeting, so that needs to come off if you're going to do it right. I'll just have to bring it in to you next month, guys, or get it in an email to you. But Ryan was in the other day, and I showed him that bid, and he said, man, if you can get that done, that's so reasonable. I asked him to look at all three, so they'd all have the same look. And I asked him to give us a bid for wood shingles, and for metal. So both are there, and they're not that far apart, so we can make a decision. So I'll get that all out to you.
Cheryl, it's asphalt shingles, not wood shingles.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yeah, I know. misspoke. I mean,
Just so
Yeah.
everybody knows that.
shingles.
Shingles,
Metal,
yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
What's his name? That, merchant's husband. She used to be a merchant. James, you know him.
I can't think of his first name.
You know who I mean,
Yeah.
don't you? Yeah. And, so anyway, if you've got something in mind, or if you want something else, I would like to expedite that because they're damaged.
Well, and we're getting, I'm not gonna, I'll leave it up to the shingle, we're getting kind of late in the year to shingle.
Say it again.
We're getting a little late in the year to shingle, as long as they're not leaking.
Well,
Next summer would be a better time to do it, without, it's totally up to
If-
whoever decides to shingle it. but-
right, and if he can do it in 2 or
Yeah.
3 days or
Yeah.
a week, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking, but
Not a
we
very
gotta let
big
him know,
Right,
right?
yep.
So our big thing is whether that's okay and which kind we want. I am not into the metal yet, but a lot of people like it, so.
Yep.
And the other thing then is, what kind of colors do you want? I think that's why I like the regular shingles, because you can get those more subdued colors sometimes. And so, maybe but I know metal's very popular too. So anyway, I think this is great. This is, if the community club wants to do this to the town, that's awesome. I guess that what I would ask of you tonight is do we want to take a vote to just let them do whatever, or do we want to come in and run things past us? What do you want to do?
I think we just take a vote, let them do what they want to do, I'm sure they.
Make the arrangements. If they get good sized trees, they probably won't buy over 2 or 3.
That's fine.
And that's all we want on that west side anyway, because you don't want to put them in over old trees, you don't want to put them where the sidewalk,
Yeah, that's the sidewalk, I don't want to see him make the sidewalk in trouble.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And the sidewalk will run, what we put out for a bid was the sidewalk from the shelter to the bathroom. And from the shelter on the east side, where that concrete is broken up right in front, to replace that broken up slab, and then make that a nice sidewalk to the monument. So that's all the sidewalk that will be there. And then the cutouts downtown. And the filling in concrete from the fire hall to this building. So that gets rid of all those little pieces of dirt and grass and weeds. And it'll probably create another parking spot for handicap. Then they'll tear this ramp out and put a brand new ramp in and put a handicap push button on the door. And new doors, both new doors. So that's quite a project. That's up to Northeast, we can't do anything about that, that's in their hands. But they've got enough money to do it all.
Good. We just need a motion to let them go ahead. I'll make a motion to go ahead and have the community club buy whatever trees they want, work with Yankton, or work with
Let's
Hardy.
do it with the, let's don't leave the tree board out, with the approval of the tree board.
With the board, of the tree board,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
And they're also already talking about
Yeah.
it.
I'll second.
Okay. The vote will go, Don,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
and Larry.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the reports of the committees, so Dan's here. You want to say something?
We have nothing to report other than the committee voted to, excuse me, to suspend any approval of applications or anything until after the election.
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
Okay. Make a note of that. And the planning and zoning?
We're still working on Northside Acres. We're working on the approval of our rezoning application or information that you received. And we are talking with activity in the north side Acres area. We were unable last night to carry out public hearing for Joe Legalhouse's application for conditional use permit because we did not have a quorum. And so we'll reschedule that for the 29th of October.
Okay, thank you. The cemetery board, anybody here that wants to say anything on that? Okay. I think they've wrapped that up pretty good. There's a few things that I'd still like to, see if we can get a directory out there, but there's a lot of things that we're checking out to make sure that those are on file at the county. They've done a good job of walking the grounds and finding out who owns what and so forth. So that's been nicely organized. And the tree board, we're gonna have anybody that they've been talking with Dale and Dan. So. Chief Carter has to go out of town, so he's not here. And I just skipped through, we've, as you know, been fairly busy. So I would like you, that we kind of clumped everything into this approval of the claims. We can do everything financial. So let's, first of all, I would like you to look at approve, so we don't forget it, approving the minutes of the last meeting, and they're in your packet. So you've had a chance to see those, and we didn't get them earlier. We'll get our feet going here.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the October 4th meeting.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. Second by James. The vote goes James.
Yep.
Bob.
Yes.
Larry. And Doc.
Yes.
And then in connection to that, there is a resolution in your packet that I had Mike sent to us today, so there's gonna have to be some things filled in this. But at first I thought we could get by, if we just got Donna into the office to help us, but we need a check signer in there. We need people that can sign stuff. So this is a resolution at the bank, or for the bank. Ryan said he could get that bonding done, and so what do we have on here?
16 before we need to 17.
Okay, so once she's bonded, it goes to 17.
16 to 17.
And then what else is in it? It's just the resolution number. Pretty standard there. Okay. So and then I'll have to contact the bank, and they'll have to do their resolution, so it'll still take a day or two. Shelley's gonna come in and do some signing, but we'll have a bunch of checks ready for her tomorrow. But it's hard to work around that. So I would like to have a motion to pass this resolution.
What is the resolution number?
It would have to be, let's see, this is gonna have to be, today is 10/11/22. So resolution number 10/11/22.
This is the 11th.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 10/11/22.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Right on. And the vote will be Bob,
Yes.
Larry, Don,
Yes.
and James.
Yep.
And then the approval of the claims, we're gonna pack into this a couple of items. In front of you, or in here, we worked on this today after we got the budget in, by the way, you all got your emails. We met the deadline. Joanne was on the phone this morning and saying, how we come and get the auditor's office to help you, and I said, I am. Well, we still don't really know what was hanging up and what, but it didn't matter, because what was happening, we had a lot of money left over. And we knew that going into this. So, but Dakota, when I got Dakota on the line, he said, well, number one, your 21-22 year is still an estimate. your 22-23 year is an estimate. You obviously have a bunch of cash on hand. You're gonna be spending that in the sewer and all of that kind of stuff, and capital gains will get us out of those issues. So I added another 300,000 into capital gains, and that's not out of reason. And then I realized that because there was one of those figures that wasn't carrying over, to add to that, and I couldn't figure out, I said, this gotta be the program. Joanne called me and said, look at that page, there's a double, look like where you put a decimal for, and then cents. She said there's 2 decimals there. And she said, I think that's holding that all up. Took one of them out and everything's like. So, and then Dakota also said, what's the other thing he said? You need to get it filed so that you get your money for this year, and if we have to amend, we will. He also, we're starting to send stuff, said he's gonna be working with me and Eddie, and, as we close all this out, we'll be sending everything to the auditors immediately. We should have them in there as soon as they're finished.
Cheryl, when did you send that email? I haven't seen nothing on my phone or my computer
Did the rest of you get it?
What email?
for the budget that she said you.
Yeah.
I sent
got
you a
it
copy
today.
of it.
I got it right here on my phone.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, we got it today at,
When did it come across?
10 to 3,
Yeah.
12 to 3.
Today?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't check.
Mine came in 247.
247,
All right.
248.
That was the completely finished one after I sent it. You didn't get one this morning when I sent it to Joanne?
I didn't
Yeah,
see
around
one.
noon she sent one too, but that would have come from the scanner because we scanned it and sent it to Donna and she sent it on.
Yeah, this one came through at
I didn't get
248.
nothing this morning.
Yeah.
The only thing
But
I
we
didn't
gotta
get.
check out your computer, lady.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I didn't get another one.
Okay, and that, maybe as we move forward, every time, if you Dawn does a good job of that, got it. And if you don't get it, I mean, you know, if we don't get your got it, then we'll start finding out why you didn't get it. We've got to clean the messages out of that computer because I can send from the scanner to mine and it's there like that, and then send it to her and we'll wait 10 minutes to get it. It's in the same room. So there's too many emails or too many something in there holding that up. We've talked about that, Don, and you know, we always get, well, that's big enough to hold that, but apparently it isn't. We need to clean something out.
Yeah.
So anyway, then we started, as soon as we got this budget done, we started going through this box full of stuff that's been sitting there for payment. We did not fill any of those in that are pre-approved because those are pre-approved, and rather than spending time putting those in, we wanted to get as many as we could on the other side so that those can be paid and out of here. So she alphabetized what was there in that one box, and we entered those. It's not a big amount, but these are those kind of, you know, month to month kind of stuff that we always pay. And on the pre-approved, we'll go ahead and pay those, and you'll get those at the 1st of November, because we always pay them. And then, as you notice, we've paid them during the month, because that's what we do, so they're not late. And then the comment by the auditor that said there was a couple months that the bills were not approved, the reason that comment was in there, and they pointed it out, was because this wasn't filled in. They were corrected, but they just failed to be filled. And I remember who was in there at that time, Lisa or Arlene or whoever was at that desk said, but I thought they were already pre-approved. And he said, they are, but you have to give the actual amount you paid then. So,
This amount does not reflect what will be paid this month on this road, this
on this
column.
side.
That was there from last month or the month before.
Well, this is the all the time estimate.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything in there. No. Okay. So that explains that, and then the only other thing you have is that budget. And the one I put in front of you, and for those of you here tonight, the one that's on the stage, this is what's filed for this year at the county, at the state. Brooke mentioned, and I sent it to him for republishing on the, it's not a number, but it's after, it's right at the end, it's the second page from the end of the packet. Maybe it's on the back of the last one, not front back. That was quite a change,
We don't
and
have
so,
that paper.
pardon?
We don't have that paper.
They're front and back.
This is just
Well, okay,
financial.
you need a budget, because I sent them to you probably. Yeah. Oh, but let's go back, is there any questions on financials?
On the bills?
Yeah. I think they're over here on Larry's desk, so.
I looked at them, I didn't have.
Did you look at these?
No, I did not.
So, while you are finished, just don't let me forget to vote on that, okay? So on the budget, you have a budget?
No, I don't.
Okay, okay. Anybody else need a budget? Bob does. Yeah, they don't read very well, because they go on sideways. So go to the next to last page, or to be the last page, because that's turned in front and back. This is what was in the paper before. And James, that operating budget,
Yep.
see how that turned around?
Yep,
And
thank
that
you.
was all in that cash carryover,
Thank
pretty
you.
much.
Thank you.
So this is quite a big change, and so I sent it to Republic. So that'll be out in this week's paper. Then we always send, there's still a couple of items we have to finish up, like we have to send the valuation sheet from the county, and we have to send this affidavit of publication. We have to send the minutes of the meeting, and so forth, so that has to go to the state, yeah, because they keep all that covered. What I'm really excited about is with, the fact that, that we're in a pretty good place to wind down and have some money to say, where do we want to go with this? Okay? And that can come at a later date when I get everything filed at the state, talk with Dakota a little bit. He said, start getting your stuff in here, we'll start communicating. So, I talked to Craig too, and he said, probably can't fit you in, just like November. He said, we'll get out there, so, that's encouraging to me. So I guess the only thing, we've already approved the budget, even though it changed, so we approved it. What we approved was the asking for that levy. And Joanne called me back after they got it and said, our paperwork is done, it's fine, it's all done, it's going to the commissioner with the levy ask of 0.472557, exactly like I said in it. So we're good on that, what a relief. And so let's go back, if there's no questions on the bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Motion by James to approve the claims,
I'll second.
second by Bob. Voting Larry,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
and Bob.
Yes.
And then I'll have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Who was the second? Who seconded Larry?
I second it.
There's such a hurry, but that came right there. Larry, second.
Yep.
And voting Don,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
and we are adjourned at 6:59. Thank you guys.